Imagine a world where silence is the only thing keeping you alive. The faintest whisper, the softest rustle, could mean your end. Now picture yourself in the shoes of Sam, a terminally ill cancer patient with nothing left to lose, except the memories of a city that is now overrun by monstrous creatures who hunt by sound alone. As Sam embarks on a final, desperate journey, she is faced with a terrifying choice: escape to safety or confront her fate head-on in the place where her life began. But what would you do in Sam's place? Would you cling to your last hopes and dreams, or would you sacrifice everything for one last taste of freedom? As the city crumbles around her, Sam's story becomes a race against time, a battle not just for survival, but for the very meaning of her existence. Hi, Movie Recaps is here, and today we're diving into the intense and suspenseful world of A Quiet Place Day 1, 2024. The story begins with Sam, a cancer patient who has been living in a nursing home for a long time. Her life feels purposeless as she knows that her days are numbered. She has lost interest in everything, refusing to venture outside. Robin, the compassionate head of the nursing home, tries hard to persuade Sam to join him on an outing. Reluctantly, Sam agrees, tempted by Robin's promise of getting the last pizza from her favorite restaurant. They board a bus, headed to New York City, along with other patients. As they journey, something unsettling catches Sam's attention. Fighter jets streak across the sky above the city. It's an unusual sight, but everyone brushes it off, continuing with their day. The group arrives at a theater where a show is about to begin. Sam, feeling detached, strikes up a conversation with Henry and his family, who are also there to watch the performance. Despite the lively chat, the show itself is dull, failing to capture Sam's interest. Feeling restless, she slips out to a nearby shop and buys some chocolates. Just as Sam starts to enjoy her treat, Robin rushes in, his face pale with fear. "Sam, we need to leave now," he urges, his voice trembling. "Something's wrong. I'm getting messages from everywhere that we need to get out of the city immediately." The urgency in his tone alarms Sam, and despite her disappointment about missing the pizza, she follows him back to the bus. As they approach the bus, Sam notices that the passengers inside are staring out the windows in shock. She looks outside, and her heart skips a beat. The sky is filled with strange, ominous clouds, moving like nothing she's ever seen. Suddenly, one of these cloud-like masses, a Metroid, descends near the bus. It explodes with a deafening roar, sending shards of debris everywhere, blocking their escape route. Panic ensues as Sam realizes the horrifying truth. People outside are being snatched away by something. She looks closer and sees them. Terrifying aliens, hunting down those who make the slightest noise. The once bustling city is now a nightmare as the aliens unleash chaos. In the midst of the madness, Sam watches helplessly as the aliens target a group of terrified people who had been playing near the bus. In their panic, the group tries to flee, but it's too late. The aliens strike, and in the next moment, a massive explosion shakes the ground. The impact of the blast knocks Sam unconscious. When she finally regains consciousness, she finds herself in a dimly lit corner of the theater, surrounded by Henry and his family. Henry gently places a hand over Sam's mouth, signaling her to stay quiet. The once bustling theater is now filled with frightened people, all huddled together in silence, aware that even the slightest sound could spell their doom. Sam's eyes scan the room, searching for someone familiar, and then she spots Robin. Overcome with emotion, she rushes to him, embracing him tightly. Robin holds her close, but the weight of the situation dampens their brief moment of relief. They both realize that this nightmare is far from over. As they sit quietly, a distant announcement from a helicopter breaks the silence. The message offers a sliver of hope, revealing that the alien attack was localized to this city alone. The announcement explains that these aliens are blind, but have an acute sense of hearing. They hunt by following any noise, making silence the only defense. However, the tension escalates as Sam notices her cat, which had been hiding, starts to move. Her heart pounds in her chest, knowing that the slightest sound from the cat could attract the aliens. Despite her efforts to keep the cat calm, the inevitable happens. The cat lets out a meow. The sound reverberates through the theater, shattering the fragile silence. In an instant, the theater doors burst open, and the aliens storm in, drawn by the noise. Chaos erupts as the aliens mercilessly attack everyone in their path. Sam watches in horror, her breath caught in her throat. But then, just as suddenly, the sound of the helicopter returns, drawing the aliens' attention away. Sam notices something crucial. The aliens have no eyes. They truly are blind, guided solely by sound. Seizing the brief respite, Sam heads to the washroom to clean herself up and gather her thoughts. Outside, people huddle around a radio, desperately listening for any updates. The government's message is clear. Stay away from the bridges tonight, as they plan to destroy them to contain the alien threat within the city. The bridges are the only escape routes, and with them gone, the city is effectively sealed off. Sam joins a small group silently observing the city from a distance. They watch as, one by one, the bridges are demolished in a series of deafening explosions, leaving the city isolated and in ruins. The destruction is complete, and the once vibrant city now lies in shambles, a haunting reminder of the nightmare they're trapped in. Suddenly, one of the group members begins to panic. His voice quivers with fear as he starts to shout, "No, we're all going to die. No one will make it out alive." Henry, realizing the danger, quickly tries to calm him down, placing his hand over the man's mouth to stop him from making noise. But in the struggle, something goes horribly wrong. The man accidentally suffocated under Henry's hand. The accidental death leaves Henry devastated, guilt etched across his face. Everyone around him understands it was a tragic mistake, but the weight of the moment is heavy. They quickly usher Henry inside the theater, the atmosphere thick with fear and sorrow. Now, they must face the grim reality of their situation as the night continues to close in around them. As the group huddled together, a terrifying thought crossed their minds. Would the government be able to rescue them, or were they truly on their own? Suddenly, a noise echoed through the theater, coming from the 16th row. The sound was loud enough to attract a horde of aliens. Realizing the danger, Robin knew he had to act fast. Without hesitation, he risked his life to stop the noise, but the damage was already done. The aliens were already on their way. Just as Robin managed to silence the noise, an alien charged at him with lethal force. In an instant, the creature brutally killed Robin in front of everyone. Sam was devastated. Robin had been more than just a caretaker. He was her only friend, the closest thing she had to family. With Robin gone, Sam felt a deep, crushing loneliness. She had always feared losing those close to her, and now that fear had become her reality. As dawn broke, Sam silently left the city, numb from the events of the night. She wandered into a general store, picking up some food, water, and her medication. Afterward, she made her way to a nearby park, where she found a quiet spot by a fountain. The sound of the flowing water offered some comfort, masking the noise of her eating. At the fountain, Sam noticed two children hiding, terrified and starving. They had been there since the previous day, trying to escape the aliens. Without hesitation, Sam shared her food with them, offering them what little comfort she could. As they sat together, helicopters returned to the city, broadcasting another announcement. This time, the message brought a glimmer of hope. Scientists had discovered two critical weaknesses in the aliens. They were blind, and they couldn't swim. The only way out of the city was by water, and the government planned to send boats to rescue the survivors. The announcement ended with a plan to create noise in the city to distract the aliens, giving the survivors a chance to reach the boats. As the helicopters began making noise, the aliens were drawn away, allowing the survivors to make their move. Sam, determined to save the children, led them toward the boats. The city was in ruins, and chaos reigned as people desperately tried to escape. The noise from the helicopters kept the aliens distracted, but it was a fragile peace. When they finally reached the boats, Sam saw how many people had perished in the nightmarish ordeal. She helped the children board the boat, ensuring they were safe. But instead of joining them, Sam turned and walked in the opposite direction. She knew her fate was sealed, Whether it was today or another day, she was destined to die. Her memories, her family's memories, were tied to this city, and she wanted to be with them in the end. As she walked, her thoughts turned to one last wish: to eat pizza from her favorite restaurant before she died. But as the remaining survivors moved toward safety, the silence was broken. The sound of hooves clattering on the pavement drew the attention of nearby aliens. Chaos erupted as the creatures attacked, slashing through the crowd in a frenzy. Sam found herself caught in the turmoil, but she managed to slip away, hiding beneath a car until the chaos subsided. With the immediate danger past, Sam emerged, alone but resolute. The city around her was a wasteland, but she pressed on, determined to fulfill her final wish. In the midst of all the chaos, Sam found herself separated from her group. The sky opened up, and a torrential downpour began. The rain was both a blessing and a curse. While it masked their sounds and provided some cover, it also meant that the aliens were lying in wait, their senses heightened by the damp environment. As Sam moved cautiously through the rain, she spotted another survivor, a young man who had also been hiding from the aliens. He emerged from the shadows, his eyes meeting Sam's with a mix of relief and desperation. He quickly told Sam that many people were heading toward the river, as it was the only safe escape route. He urged Sam to come with him, but she shook her head, resolute in her decision to stay in the city. The young man, whose name was Eric Hales, decided to stay with her, realizing that he couldn't leave her behind. Eric and Sam found temporary shelter in a small abandoned house. The house was eerily quiet, the only sounds being the distant drumming of the rain on the roof. As they settled in, Eric opened up about himself. He was a lawyer who had just started practicing in the city, and his family was still here. He was desperate to reunite with them. Sam, in turn, shared her story, how she had once been a poet and a writer, but cancer had stolen her passion for life. She confessed that she had only a few days left to live, and that her only wish was to eat pizza one last time at her father's favorite restaurant. That was why she refused to leave the city. She wanted to die where her memories lived. As they talked, Sam quietly slipped away, not wanting Eric to stay and risk his life for her. She wandered to a large broken LED billboard nearby, where she found some old books. The rain continued to fall, and she was momentarily lost in the world of words. But then something caught her attention. Eric had followed her, and he was standing just a few feet away, watching her with concern. "What are you doing here?" Eric asked, his voice low but intense. "I told you to leave. You shouldn't have followed me," Sam replied, frustration evident in her tone. The tension between them grew as they argued, and in the heat of the moment, Sam accidentally knocked over a desk. The loud crash echoed through the empty building, a sound far too dangerous in their current situation. They both froze, the realization hitting them at the same time. Aliens would soon be on their trail. Without wasting a second, they sprinted towards another building, trying to find safety. The door to the building was jammed, but Eric, using all his strength, managed to force it open just as the aliens began to close in. The slightest sound they made had attracted the creatures, and now the aliens were storming toward them. The sound of the aliens' movements was terrifying in the deadly silence. The creatures, with their heightened senses, easily tracked them, smashing through glass and barriers in their pursuit. Sam and Eric barely managed to escape the building, running for their lives through the rain-soaked streets. In their frantic dash, they found themselves in a subway station. The station was dark, cold, and filled with the lingering dread of those who had tried to escape before them. As they moved deeper into the station, Sam's heart skipped a beat. They were not alone. An alien lurked in the shadows, its presence unmistakable. The creature was waiting, poised to strike at the first sign of movement or sound. As they edged closer, they noticed the elevator ahead, and behind it, water pooled at the terminal. The alien was blocking their path, but the water presented a glimmer of hope. Sam quickly devised a plan. They would lure the alien towards the water, knowing that the creature couldn't swim. But executing this plan would be incredibly dangerous, requiring precise timing and absolute silence. With a final silent nod to each other, they prepared to make their move. Sam and Eric were now cornered, the alien looming ominously behind them. Eric was terrified, realizing that the water level was rising fast. If they moved forward, they risked drowning, but staying put meant certain death at the hands of the alien. Sam, despite her deteriorating condition, tried to calm Eric. "Look, death is certain if we stay here. But if we move forward, there's still a chance we might survive," Sam whispered, her voice steady despite the fear. The alien, sensing them, inched closer from above, its grotesque form moving with unnerving silence. With no other choice, Sam and Eric plunged into the water, holding their breath as the icy liquid enveloped them. The alien, unable to swim, thrashed helplessly as it sank, giving Sam and Eric the opportunity to escape to the other side. Sam, weakened by cancer and the strain of the cold water, was in a terrible state. Eric, determined to help her, carried her to a nearby church. Once inside, he knew that Sam desperately needed her medication. She weakly protested, but Eric insisted, "I'll get it. You just hang on." Eric ventured out into the city, which had now become a desolate, alien-infested wasteland. The once vibrant streets were now a haunting shadow of their former selves. He finally found a pharmacy and grabbed the medicine Sam needed. Just as he was about to leave, Eric heard a noise behind him. His heart pounded as he turned around, only to find Sam's cat, which had followed him all the way. Relieved, Eric gathered the cat and rushed back to the church. Back at the church, after taking her medication, Sam felt a bit better. As they sat together, Sam opened up to Eric. "Ever since I got cancer, I lost everything. My passion, my hope. I came back to this city, not to survive, but to fulfill one last wish, to eat pizza at my dad's favorite restaurant. That's all I wanted before I—" Her voice trailed off, and Eric, moved by her story, gently helped her up. They continued walking until they found the restaurant, but their hope was dashed. It was completely destroyed. Eric, however, refused to let Sam's last wish go unfulfilled. He found a nearby building and asked Sam to wait while he went to the wrecked restaurant. After searching, he found a pizza, still edible despite the destruction, and brought it back to Sam. As they shared the pizza, a small smile appeared on Sam's face, the first in a long time. For a moment, there was a flicker of happiness in her eyes, but then she realized something. She looked out the window and saw a boat, the last boat for the survivors, preparing to leave the city. It was her last chance to escape, but Sam knew that her journey was coming to an end. Determined to save Eric and the cat, Sam made a decision. "Eric, I'm not going to make it. You and the cat need to get to that boat. I'll distract the aliens." Eric protested, but Sam was resolute. She picked up an iron lock and began to smash the car's glass nearby, creating a noise loud enough to attract the aliens. They swarmed toward her as Eric, holding the cat, made a run for the shore. As the boat prepared to leave, the people on board noticed the commotion caused by Sam. Realizing there were still survivors in the city, they stopped the boat. Eric managed to reach the shore, and with one final look back at Sam, he boarded the boat, his eyes filled with tears. Sam, now alone, continued to draw the aliens away, ensuring that Eric and the other survivors could escape. She was exhausted, but there was a strange peace in her heart. She had fulfilled her last wish, and more importantly, she had given Eric a chance to live. As the boat sailed away, Eric found a T-shirt with Sam's name on it, and a note written in her handwriting. "I was already dead. My life had no purpose. But you gave me a reason to live, even if just for a short while. Thank you for giving my life meaning." Tears welled up in Eric's eyes as the scene cut to Sam. She was sitting alone, listening to her favorite song through her headphones. As the last notes played, she took off the headphones and let them fall, hearing the distant sounds of the aliens approaching. She closed her eyes, ready to face her fate. The next moment, the screen went black. Thanks for watching. A Quiet Place, Day 1, isn't just a thriller. It's a powerful reminder of the value of silence and the strength of the human spirit. It teaches us that even in the darkest times, hope and courage can lead us through. Remember, in our own lives, it's the moments of quiet reflection and the bonds we share that truly make a difference. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more gripping movie insights. See you next time.